YouTube, how's it going? The Go Dials is back. Today, more NFL record predictions going over the NFC South teams in this video. Went over pretty much every division so far. Just have the West divisions from each conference to go over after the NFC South here. So going all four teams here game by game. We'll get best case scenario, worst case scenario, actual record prediction, break everything down here. We'll eventually get to playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions. You guys are kind of playing along on our Twitter. We have polls. You guys are voting for basically creating a playoff field, and we'll create a future video out of that, see what the fans think there on their predictions for this upcoming season. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on, follow us on Twitter. Here's our Twitter. There's that poll I just posted before going to record this. Buccaneers getting a lot of votes so far. Not really surprised, but things can change there. PlayoffPredictors.com is the website we're using for all of these videos, and you can go game by game. The schedule's there. You can kind of pick your winner. It's very cool. Check it out. Buccaneers at Cowboys week 1. They played each other the first game of the year last year. Did the Cowboys video already. I picked the Buccaneers. I mean, it being in Dallas this year, maybe the Cowboys can get one on them, but the Buccaneers going to be a little more healthy compared to where they were when they ended last year. In this game, they'll be healthier. So it's a strong Buccaneers team when it's healthy. So I like the Buccaneers there. Cowboys made some changes, let some guys go. So maybe some adjustments to be made, but could be a high-scoring game. I like Tampa, though. Buccaneers at Saints. For some reason, Tampa's had a problem with the Saints. Something with the matchup there. They can't really get much going offensively against them. That seems to be the main problem. Just really nothing going for them. Brady, everybody. But is going to continue here in week 2? It's in New Orleans. Saints were very beat up last year, expecting to be healthy at this game. I'm going to take the Saints in that one in week 2. Packers, Bucs. I'm going to go Bucs at home. That's a great game. Obviously, could be two heavyweights of the NFC. I like the Buccaneers, though. See the Packers. See if their offense takes a hit without Devontae Adams. Chiefs and Bucs. I took the Chiefs in this game. Another shootout. Should be a shootout. I'm going to take the Chiefs in the shootout there, but man, it's probably going to be a high-scoring game. Could go either way. I was kind of feeling the Chiefs, though. It is in Tampa, so the Buccaneers can grab that one. But, I'm going to go with Mahomes in that one in week 4. Falcons and Buccaneers. We're going to go Buccaneers in that one. We're going to go Buccaneers over the Steelers. Defense could cause some problems for a young Steelers quarterback, whoever it may be. Panthers, it's very tough to predict. We'll have to predict their whole schedule coming up in this video. But tough to predict because we don't know who their quarterback's going to be right now. It's Sam Darnold. Buccaneers shouldn't really have a problem. Thursday Night Football, Ravens at Buccaneers. That's a great one for a primetime game. Buccaneers stopped the run at a very high level. The Ravens, that's what they do. It is a different type of run, though. It's not just pounding the ball in between inside the tackles. But I'm going to take the Bucs, and then they can slow down that run game. They'll be Brady will be productive offensively. This offense will, so enough. So I think the Buccaneers will win that game home in prime time. Rams and Bucs, maybe a revenge game in the playoffs. Maybe the Buccaneers would be a little more healthy this time around. Seems like the Rams just had success on both sides of the ball, really, against the Buccaneers last year. That could continue. It could be a matchup issue there, but yeah, again, the Bucs weren't fully healthy. They get Godwin back in a game like this compared to last year. Then they definitely have more success offensively. I'm still going to go with the Rams, though. Like them in that matchup, both sides of the ball, but it's a pretty, to me, these are the top 2 teams in the NFC, in my opinion. If you just evaluate these rosters, where their strengths are at. So should be a fun game, though, that we could definitely see them playing a second time there in the playoffs. Seahawks and Bucs, that's a Germany game. We'll take the Buccaneers in that one. And they got the bye. Then Bucs and Browns. That's a good one. I did the Browns video. This is one I can change my mind on at any time, though. I think because the Browns should have Deshaun Watson at this point. So I was thinking the Bucs should take that run away from the Browns, what they do best, put them in a predictable situation. But that's why they got Watson. They can be in that situation, still win games. But the Buccaneers, will do a good job of limiting that Browns run, which I still think they'll be kind of priority one. Even though they have Watson, it's just that Stefanski offense. So I'm gonna take the Bucs. Maybe the difference is, they do limit that run. It's a really good game, though. The Saints very well could 2-0 the Buccaneers because something with that matchup issue. But Monday night in Tampa, Saints have had their number on prime time. But I'm going to take the Bucs. I think, I'm not going to. Could be, if it's going to be a 2-0, it's kind of weird to think that. It would be the Saints probably, but not going to, kind of just predict it because that's just something that just happened in the past. But I think the matchup still applies. Where, again, the Saints should definitely get one on them, and they could win two. But I'll take the Bucs on Monday night at home. I'll take the Bucs over the 49ers. I took the Bengals over the Bucs in this one. I like it. I mean, it could be a shootout. I think Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, that offense will have success against the Buccaneers defense more than what the Bucs will do to the Bengals defense, which was very, very solid last year. So I took the Bengals in that one. Take the Bucs over the Cardinals. We'll take them. I like them in the last 3 games here. So that leaves us at 13-4. So pretty good record there for the Buccaneers. Kind of go back to best case. I mean, we can switch. I had them losing some home games here. Actually, maybe they don't lose all those home games. I don't think they're going to 2-0 the Saints. So I don't see any reason for best case to switch one of those. But between the Chiefs, Rams, and Bengals. We don't want to get too crazy here, but they could. I mean, all of them are winnable games for a great team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'd say I'd switch the Chiefs one, 14-3. I don't know if a team goes 15-2. Teams slip up a bit. I mean, these are winnable games, but I'd say 14-3 is probably best case. I just don't see maybe a team this year going 15-2, but I guess it's possible. So that's maybe the very high end. 14-3 is possible there. Worst case. I don't want to drop them too much. They could get 2-0'd by the Saints. Where was that Saints game right there? They could lose to. They got between the Browns, the Niners, the Packers, the Cowboys. I just like them in those games. I'd probably switch the Browns one maybe if Deshaun Watson's playing. So I think worst case 11-6. I think it's a safe bet. Unless they get really beat up, but they were kind of beat up last year. And there was teams more beat up, but they were beat up last year, and they were still very successful. So I don't even see 11-6 for the Buccaneers. So 13-4 is where I'm at. Yeah, I'm kind of in that 12, 13, 14 range for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Saints next. So we're already 1-1 with the Saints because I had them splitting with Tampa, and they've had very good success against them. There's a primetime game down there, so they could 2-0 the Buccaneers. We'll do that in the best case situation. I definitely like the Saints in the Week 2 game though. Saints interesting because they were they don't have Sean Payton this year. They were pretty beat up last year though, getting healthy, getting better at receiver. Michael Thomas back, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, almost forgot. They lost some guys, but they've also gained some guys as well. Added some 2 first-round players in the draft. So if they're healthy, they should be solid. How will they be without Sean Payton? So can they stay healthy, I guess is the question as well. Jameis Winston was looking pretty solid, at least taking care of the ball before he got hurt last year. So how will that go? They have Andy Dalton as backup. So intriguing team just because Sean Payton's gone. How will Jameis Winston work? How's his receiver unit going to work? It went from being worse to maybe very, very good here. So, very, very curious about the Saints here. So, we'll see how it pans out here. But they should be in that. They were almost in the playoffs last year. There was some struggle from NFC teams in the last year, but even while beat up. So, I think they'll kind of be in that same range, though. But I think they'll be better this year, but probably fighting for a playoff spot along with quite a few other teams here, but we'll see. I like them Week 1 against the Falcons. We had them Week 2 against the Buccaneers. Saints and Panthers Week 3, and the Panthers are so tough to predict because who's going to be their quarterback. Panthers did start strong early last year. Maybe we'll give them one here. That's tough, though. Saints were also starting strong. I'm just trying to find games to give the Panthers because it's a very tough that them and the Falcons don't expect a whole lot of wins, but the Panthers get a quarterback that I kind of do because they got a pretty decent roster. We'll give the Panthers one here. This is a London game. I picked the Saints over the Vikings in that London game already. We'll take the Saints over the Seahawks. I was taking the Bengals. That's a good game, though, but I was taking the Bengals over the Saints there. Saints defense could slow them down. It's a different animal, though. And the Bengals defense kind of creates some turnovers on Wednesday. I like the Bengals in that one. Saints Cardinals Thursday night football. Man, that's a tough one. Yeah, a lot of these we've already predicted because I've done so many other videos and teams already. This one we didn't get to yet because we didn't do the NFC West. So this is a good one. Thursday night football. This is the week that DeAndre Hopkins comes back. Lucky Saints, right? I'm going to go Cardinals here. Week 7, that's a 50-50 game. In Arizona, they get DeAndre Hopkins back. Cardinals better in this portion of the year than later, according to the last few years. We'll see if that continues. That's a good game. That's a really good game on Thursday Night Football. Raiders and Saints. Yeah, I think the Saints kind of got that defense to limit the Raiders a bit, and I think they'll score. Raiders defense still a little bit of a work in progress. I'm gonna take the Saints. I like the Saints in that one. Saints and Ravens. I like the way the Saints match up with the Ravens as well. So I'm gonna get Monday night in New Orleans. I'm gonna go with the Saints. That's another 50-50 game. I just like the way they match up. I think they can slow the run of the Ravens offense, kind of force them into pass situations, which they can win in those situations. Yeah, the Ravens defense changing things up. This might be a low-scoring game. This might be it's a Monday night game too. Yeah, this might be a defensive primetime game here. I'm really feeling. So I'm gonna go Saints at home though. Saints Steelers. It was leaning Steelers 50-50 on this one with the Steelers video, but I might be changing that. I'm kind of leaning Saints with this one now. I think they put I think it's going to be Pickett, but if it's Pickett or Trubisky, they put that quarterback in a tough situation, and the Saints do enough offensively. Rams, Saints. I'll take the Rams in that one. Saints, 49ers. It's a great game. The 49ers has got to be Trey Lance. Maybe the Saints could limit the run. It's going to be a different type of run, though, from the 49ers with Trey Lance. Maybe a little bit more read option. It's a physical running game as well. That defense, 49ers is maybe arguably the best in football at the end of the year. There's quite a few teams that thought they were kind of in that category the way things ended. I'm going to take the 49ers. They're at home in that one. I like their defense with the Bucs this time around here. Bye. Falcons at Saints. Take the Saints. The Falcons could get one on them. It's just laid out so well for the Saints. Week 1, it's a Mariota Falcons team. It's young. It's kind of new. The Saints definitely have an advantage. I don't care where that game's at. And then you get down to Week 15 where the Falcons are probably in season kind of getting going. It's in New Orleans. The Saints are fighting for the playoffs. It's just a really good layout for the Saints. So I really expect them to 2-0 the Falcons. Saints and Browns. Saints could slow that run a little bit. Really like the Browns defense, though, the way they match up against the Saints offense. So I take the Browns. Saints and Eagles. Yeah, this is another one. I think the Saints could they can limit each other's run there. The Eagles defense should be stepping up this year as well. And they were getting good at the end of last year. Eagles, that Hurts run. The Saints had a problem with him. It was a couple years ago. Not that really matters now, but it's a good game. Picked the Eagles originally, if I'm not mistaken. It's so tough. This is one of the tougher ones to predict because I'm looking at the record, and I was going to stick with my Eagles pick and then Saints pick, and then I have the Saints at 9. I was kind of in my head thinking they're a 10-win team. We can't really force it, but there are so many that could go either. Which ones did I say that were 50-50? I said that, I had them losing to the Panthers. They very well could win that, but I had them beating the Vikings. I said the Cardinals won. I had them losing was 50-50. I had them beating the Raiders, the Ravens at the same time. So we're kind of even on these games that kind of can go either way here. The Eagles, but I'm really in that. I really wanted to go bottom line 9 wins for the Saints. Maybe 8 would probably be worst case, but I thought I was probably going to have them at 10 wins. So I think a healthy Saints could sneak because they're very talented. They can sneak into places. There's a lot of questions though with no Sean Payton, Jameis Winston. If he's being healthy, if he would be healthy or not, but is he going to be okay? Is he be good enough here? But yeah, kind of going back to best case. I think best case we really can bump it up a bit, even though I did have him winning some of these games. But I definitely think they could beat the Cardinals in Week 7 away. But again, I had him beating the Raiders, Ravens, Vikings. We'll switch to the Eagles one, so I don't want to get too carried away. But 12-5. So they kind of got some range there. I don't think the worst case should drop too far below 9. I really don't. I don't see that. Maybe 7 at the very worst, kind of looking through these games. I just don't see them even winning 7 games. I think it's 8, 9, 10, 11 is kind of the range for them. But you see the best case is 12 there for the Saints. It's about staying healthy. And again, the questions of Jameis Winston, are they going to have to put Dalton in? Winston was looking pretty promising, though, and they were pretty dominant early on. Who they beat up in that week 1 to destroy the Packers last year. So is it going to be that Saints team? And they kind of got going when they were smelling the playoffs late last year. So it's that team that's going to fight. So, I kind of expected to have them 10 wins. Had 9. So, I mean, there's just so many 50-50 ones that I could have went. Like, I could have had them over the Eagles there. But, yeah, and they could 2-0 the Panthers. It's trying to find games the Panthers could win early on. We can go over to. We're going to go to the Falcons, actually. The Falcons we have starting 0-4 because I don't like the layout against the Saints. I don't think they're going to win. Anything can happen week 1, but I think the Saints should be more prepared. And then week 15 is in New Orleans when the Saints are fighting for the playoffs. I just don't see it. Buccaneers might be too tough. They got the Rams in week 2. Seahawks, that's a winnable game against the Seahawks. It's in Seattle. Who's the Seahawks quarterback going to be? I think the Seahawks might be pretty damn good running the football, especially in a game like this. I was kind of leading Seattle in that one. Browns, Falcons, if Watson's out, it's a winnable game for the Falcons. It's just very tough to predict. This year might be the toughest to predict because of things like that. We don't know who. The Browns and the Panthers are probably the toughest teams to predict. 49ers, Falcons. I mean, the Falcons are going to take some of these upsets. It's tough to predict the whole. I have been predicting some throughout these videos. It's just tough. Do I have them winning a single? Okay, they got to win one of these games early on. That's a tough part. We're 0-9, even though we're through 0-7. I don't know if they, because they got Kyle Pitts and Drake London, to the 2 big body guys. That might be just problems for certain teams. That might be kind of going back. There might be a problem for like the Seahawks young corners. So maybe the Falcons pull that one off. They'll win this one against the Panthers. Chargers, take them. Have them split against the Panthers. Bears, Falcons. I go with the Bears in the Bears video, but that's just a 50-50 one. Could in Atlanta. God, some of these are just coin flips. I think just based on rosters right now and quarterback play, and I think we'll see the Falcons, Bears, Texans. Those teams kind of at the bottom of the league. I mean, the Seahawks be in that conversation. The Lions, the Giants. And some of these teams are getting better though. It's such a 50-50 one. I mean, the Falcons could win that one. We had them starting pretty rough, so we'll give them that one now this time around. My problem with the Falcons is, how's Mariota going to be? Offensive line, they allowed so much interior pressure. Just a quick trip to the quarterback there. Mariota maybe has a little more escapability than Matt Ryan, but it's tough. I think the Commanders can get a lot of pressure there. Steelers, Falcons, it's a winnable game for the Falcons. I went with the Steelers already in that one. The pass rush probably too strong from Pittsburgh. This ends up being rough. 3 wins. It's tough to see them being that low. Cardinals, a winnable game down here. It's a winnable game. I might end up having the Cardinals in the Cardinals video, but I mean that's a winnable. I'm trying to find winnable games for the Falcons because they're going to get upsets in some of these. They're just kind of going off their roster, and it might be a down year here. But best case scenario, anything could happen in week 1, I suppose. Maybe Deshaun Watson doesn't play, so they win in week 4. Maybe they 2-0 the Panthers because they got quarterback struggles. Beat the Steelers here. So we could, we don't want to switch too much. We could kind of get it boosted up there a bit so we can see them go up all the way to 8 wins. And I kind of was around that worst case scenario. I don't see a team going 0 for 1 win. I just don't see it. Upsets happen in the regular season. Teams just have off weeks, traveling, injuries, things like that. So I don't think anyone's going to go 0 or 1 win this year. So there's the Falcons. It's kind of the same situation as the Panthers, except we had to switch this. I had the Panthers getting 1 against the Falcons and getting 1 against the Saints. Did not have them getting 1 against the Buccaneers. anything can happen in week one. Say it every year. Anything can happen. Deshaun Watson could be out in that game, so the Panthers could win it. The problem with the Panthers right now, at the time of recording this, is Sam Darnold's probably their starting quarterback. I know they got Matt Corral, and fans probably, and I would want them to start Matt Corral, but that's a raw quarterback prospect, and got to learn the pro style. Ran a lot of RPO there. Maybe they implement that, but he could struggle early on as well. So it's a pretty rough quarterback play situation here as of now. If they get Garoppolo or Baker, that boosts them a lot. Those aren't big-time quarterbacks, but that boosts them a lot, in my opinion, because they got weapons. They got weapons at receiver. They got McCaffrey. If he's healthy, they improve the offensive line. Adding Ekwonu at least, so at least they improve the tackles. I mean, the tackle duo with Moton looks pretty solid. Defensively, they were pretty stout defense last year. Big Jeremy Chin fan. Maybe they got worse at corners, but they still kept on some corners. Dante Jackson's an underrated player. Maybe C.J. Henderson steps up. They got J.C. Horn back. So what am I talking about? They got J.C. Horn and Dante Jackson, Henderson in the rotation. So corners should be fine. Shaq Thompson, Brian Burns, big fan hits. They got the talent. It's just the quarterback play. That's kind of was last year. They just the defense looked good at times. The weapons looked good when they got a shot, but injuries and just the quarterback play just limited them so much, and that would be the case again. So this is a team that's kind of at the bottom of the NFL right now, the way they sit. But if they get a quarterback, like if they get, I'm not huge Baker or Garoppolo guys, but if they get one of those guys, we might be talking a wild card spot for the Panthers because they have talent around it. The quarterback play is just weighing it down big time. So it's a tough team to predict right now. I don't really love predicting it right now, but again, anything can happen in week one. But I went with the Browns there, and then maybe just even if Brissett, because Brissett would be the Panthers' best quarterback right now. I know people probably disagree, but that's just the way it is. Panthers, Giants. Yeah, the Panthers started strong last year, so they could do it again. Doesn't mean they'll do it again, though. I had the Giants originally in this one. A defensive game. It's just about who takes care of the ball a little bit better. But I like that Brian Daboll offense. That'd be the difference. Cardinals, Panthers. It's a possibility here for the Panthers. I'm going to go Cardinals, though. I'm going to go Niners here. We're going to go Rams. It's just tough to predict right now because I just don't trust their quarterback play. Splitting with the Falcons, went Bengals here. Ravens probably get an upset here. After the bye week, maybe they beat the Seahawks. It's just I don't like predicting the Panthers right now because I don't think their quarterback's on the roster right now. Steelers... Yeah, maybe their defense could. I like the Panthers' defense, and they create some problems for a young quarterback. But Steelers' defense probably creates some problems. That pass rush. I originally had Steelers, Lions a 50-50 game, so we're looking at somewhere around where they sit 4 wins. But I saw the over/under for their wins. I believe it was 6. And I was talking about that. Like if you want to gamble, and predict that they're going to get a quarterback like a Garoppolo or Baker, or you maybe hit that over now before it rises because if they get if they get better at quarterback, like this team could be an 8, 9, 10 might be pushing it. They got talent though, but best case, let's say they get a better quarterback. I mean, they can win. They can win a lot of these games between the Cardinals and Niners. They could win the Cardinals game. We'll keep it split against the Falcons. Winnable games here, so we see the 8 wins. So it's kind of a tougher schedule too. So best case is sitting around the 8 right now, but I really want to see them get better at quarterback because the rest of the team is solid. I like the way that defense. I like the way they run that defense. It's a very solid defense. Some solid young players throughout that entire roster. They're getting better at offensive line. It's just got to find that. Not the last piece of the puzzle, but pretty much with the quarterback. I mean, it would elevate them so much there. So we had the Buccaneers winning the division. We had the Saints finishing second. And then we had was that a tie with the Panthers and the Falcons there? Or now it's all jacked up because they kept the best case scenario. But they're not fighting for playoff spots unless they get their best case scenario there anyway. So we just have the NFC West left for the NFC, but we have the AFC West next. And then we can see who made the playoffs there. So a lot of teams will be fighting for, as we can see, that 7 seed probably. But, yeah, that wraps up the NFC South video. Let me know your guys' record predictions in the comments. We're talking on Twitter about that. Vote for your division winners and eventually wild cards on our Twitter. Eventually, we'll predict the playoffs as well. That'll turn into a video. Link down below for that. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on me. Much, much appreciate it. It's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.